Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stand. It is the fan forum. Manchester United continue their Carabao Cup defence after beating Crystal Palace 3-0 at home, and what a lovely game it was on the eye. Really enjoyed that one. Big shout out to Dangor making his Manchester United debut on his 19th birthday, and also Amrabat for his full Old Trafford debut. And welcome to the show. We have Faz, Mods and Ricky. We're going to get into things. Really nice to talk about a positive game. But Ricky, I'll come to you first because we know you were loving that possession-based football. You were loving the fact that, you know, more players that you appreciate were playing today. Break that game down. Why were Man United so good? Was it because Crystal Palace were poor? Was it because we had the right players playing? Why was it?
It was mainly because we had the right players playing, because we haven't played as well as that for a long time. Months and months and months, not just this season. When did we last play such possession football? The opposition can't get it off us, and I can't name names, but we must have played one or two teams in that period as bad as Crystal Palace or as ordinary as Crystal Palace. We must have done. We've played some terrible, even other games that we've won. I think we only had 2 3-0 wins last season, Brentford at home and Forest at home, but I don't think we played as well as that. We haven't played as well as that for ages. It was just miles better because we moved the ball around and passed the ball around well and weren't too impatient too often. There were still 1 or 2 moments where the centre-backs mainly, on Casemiro a couple of times, but we're not too impatient. We've normally got too many players who are too impatient, and it wasn't so bad today. And like I say, the passing movements were just brilliant, absolutely brilliant to watch. I
mean, here's a question for you, Maud. You know, that team played really well against Palace. We've got Palace again at Old Trafford. If Ten Hag goes back to his usual starting 11 and we don't seem to do as well, people are going to start asking questions, aren't they? I mean, is there anyone from that starting 11 today that you think is knocking on the door to be in the first team on Saturday?
I think 100% Pellistri. I think we haven't even played with a right winger properly this season. I think we've always played with either Bruno trying to touch on the right, or we've played with like a Rashford and Højlund up top. So I think that was really where I felt we were the most effective. I thought the ball was going to either Dalot or Pellistri on the right a lot, and that was where a lot of our chances were being created. So 100% I think we need a strong Pellistri on the right. I also think Amrabat 100% has to start, because I feel like even though he's playing left back, the way how he came into midfield as like an inverted fullback kind of gave Casemiro a bit more leeway to play how we normally see him play. Usually Casemiro was around a lot of players who don't have legs, like McTominay, like Eriksen, players you don't really, they can run, but sometimes McTominay's running in the wrong direction, and it's like he needs someone around him who can not only play the ball, but can get interceptions and do work offensively and defensively strong. So Amrabat, whether he's playing left back or whether he's playing next to Casemiro, I think he 100% needs to start. And dropped, I think Rashford needs to take a little breather. Just maybe, not even for the full game like today, maybe a breather and let Garnacho come on again, or even maybe play Martial, somehow getting, because I think Martial played well today and I think Garnacho played well, so I think those two definitely deserve a lot of game time on the weekend.
Well, I'm going to be talking about the front three in a little bit, because I think that's one that massively does need to be discussed. Great goal from Anthony Martial today as well. I mean, it's an interesting one, isn't it? It really is. I tell you what, McTominay needs to take notes off Hannibal. Always in the right position and got his head up and, you know, looking for players around him. I really like his anticipation of the ball, intelligence, and it's you know, sometimes you just have that, and he has that as a footballer, which is really promising. I mean, Faz, I want to get into it. Invest in Mason Mount, guys. Invest in Mason Mount. I'm telling you, I've been slated from pillar to post about Mason Mount. I know it's only 45 minutes, but great ball over the top to Pellistri to kind of work the goal with Dalot for the first Garnacho goal.
It's only Crystal Palace's second team.
Great.
Do you know what I mean?
Ricky's joking because that's what I was saying to him before. Then you've got great corner for the Casemiro goal. Corner. Also could have had another assist with that Pellistri one that probably should have ended up being a penalty. And I thought altogether was just nice little touches here and there, keeping things ticking, keeping control. Are you a little bit more insured now that Mason Mount is going to be a good player for Man United? It's only 45 minutes, but are you feeling better about him?
Before I actually talk about Mason Mount, I want to say something to everyone. I know the last fan forum, me and you had a disagreement, and quite a bit heated one, about Reguilon and Malacia. So I thought to myself, how can I make it up? Because the dressing room leaks, producers, and the journalists out there might say there's a bit of unrest on the United stand. So I bought you a present.
Oh.
And I brought Beth a packet of Skittles. And there's a very specific reason why I bought a packet of Skittles, Beth. Because you are the rainbow to our United stand. And you
Yes.
brighten up everybody's day.
Oh,
So that's why I brought you.
That's a round of applause.
That's
packet of
so nice.
Skittles.
I feel bad I've not got you anything.
Well, next time you do my head in, I expect something.
Okay, I'll bring you something in return. And Nando's maybe, finally.
Yes.
Do you know what, guys? And it turns out Amrabat's better than them both. Anyway, but go on.
Look, Mason Mount, one of the reasons why I want to start this topic is I think he would be better off playing without Bruno being on the pitch. We have to sacrifice one for the other. I think he gets so much criticism early on coming into Manchester United, but that's because he's not being as free as he can whilst having Bruno Fernandes on the pitch. And I love Bruno Fernandes because he's our captain, he's our player, but I have my own criticism towards him. But today I saw how other players were allowing him the freedom of having the ball and trusting him in areas. Certain times he's caught off with players right on his back, but he's able to find these little touches on the ball that just allow other players to come into play. This is what I've been craving. As much as I find it weird in saying because the transfer never made sense to me, I was craving a player that with the touch of a pass can bring another player into acres of space. You're soaking up pressure from everyone and distributing the ball. That's what Bruno Fernandes can't do. He can't. As much as he's great at passing the ball, he can't soak up the pressure. And that's what Mason Mount can do. How Erik ten Hag is going to make them two work together is between him. And I don't want to see Mason on the right.
I
That's
really
one thing
like
I
that
don't.
piece of analysis because I am tending to agree with you on there in the fact that I do think it would be interesting to see how they could play together in a cohesive way. But is a way to do that bringing Bruno into number 8? Could that work?
It's up to the manager because that means what happens with Amrabat then? He has to be holding bench. And the way Amrabat played today, I don't think I ever want to see him on bench at all.
I like
he
this competition for places, though.
Yeah, he was celebrating a bit of tackle. You saw the crowd enjoying him. But I'm not going to get overly like, oh, this is Amrabat, this is what we wanted, because it's just Palace. We have to play them again. We've got massive games in the Champions League. Levels will be shown then. We've had a real bad start to the season. It's good that the boys could score 3 goals. I know I've been critical that can we score 3 goals and keep a clean sheet. We have done today. But let's see against some tougher oppositions how some of these players do. This is also important that Bruno and Rashford aren't, they aren't exempt from holding bench or they aren't exempt from being substituted. Yes, Bruno can start the 8, but make the sub at the right time and give Amrabat the opportunity to start fighting for the position. Yes, he's the captain, Bruno. He's never going to be benched in a big game. But it's important that once we make a substitution, the level of drop isn't too much. And I don't think between Bruno and Amrabat, the level of drop is any different. I think Amrabat is a fantastic player.
Amrabat's miles better. Amrabat is absolutely streets better.
Different
Of course,
positions,
they're
different
different
positions though.
positions,
Like it's very different
The
positions.
streets better. He looks after the ball.
Different positions.
I don't expect him to do the same role though. I don't expect Amrabat to try and break the lines and get behind the defenders like Bruno does. So I wouldn't.
But he's showing for the ball. That's
He's showing
something
deeper
that,
though. I like the fact that he's
we
getting the
missed
ball
that.
and he's finding. He will find a Rashford or he'll find a Pellistri or Dalot. Bruno wouldn't normally do that. If Bruno was come deep, then it means that we've got a massive hole going forward because who's going to be creating the chances when it's in the final third if Bruno's so far deep, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
but you also saw Amrabat to Casemiro, to Amrabat, to Casemiro,
wanna
to
talk about
Amrabat.
that.
They enjoyed possession. That's the type of football we want to play. And that's something Bruno, I don't know if he can or can't do, but he just doesn't do enough.
I think today was the most we've looked like a team.
Yeah.
Like an actual team. And even though these players had never played together really before, they all looked on the same wavelength. But got some super chats in that I'll read out. Leo J says, Amrabat dominated that game. Let's hope this continues. Tom George, welcome to the Members Club. Hayden, welcome to the Members Club. And Corpus, welcome to the United Stand Members Club as well. We have another super chat here that I've just missed out on that I'm going to try and find right now. Oh, wait, no, it's the same one. Oh, here we go. Cartrick says, to the panel, with Casse having played 90 minutes today, do you think we'll play with a midfield of Amrabat, Mount and Bruno in the weekend? Personally, I don't think so, no. Casemiro is a bit of a machine. He played over 60 games for Madrid in his last season before he came here. I would have personally taken him off and moved Amrabat into midfield just to give him a bit of a rest. But I think Casemiro's a player that Ten Hag always speaks so highly of. Is everyone in agreement with that?
Yeah,
100%.
100%. And it's he might not need to do a lot because if you have Amrabat there, a lot of times he has to do a lot more and cover a lot more distance because Eriksen and Bruno are not in the position they're supposed to be. If you have energetic players around you in that midfield, he might not have to do as much work.
Got a couple more super chats here. We have one coming in from Alan Kenny saying you can see Casemiro enjoyed playing with Amrabat. And Mario Franco says, Ricky, you're going to love this one. I haven't seen someone as good as Amrabat since McTominay's debut, and Pellistri looks like Dan James's grandson. Football is back, Manchester Ricky. I mean, I think this is a player we've got to talk about, because are we all in agreement Pellistri has to play on the right wing? At the moment.
Until Anthony comes back.
Yeah, but at the moment, on Saturday, if you're picking the lineup, I feel like Pellistri has to play on the right wing. I mean, Ricky, I thought today, bar maybe sometimes being a little bit stronger, football intelligence, tracking his runner really well, always in the right position, playing the ball quickly, dribbling when necessary, passing when necessary. What more does he have to do to get in?
He's got to get in the team. So quick as well, and so quick to recover. There was a couple of times where he lost it and the tackle came in and, he had to turn and chase it back, and he'd nick it back off him and play it back to the full back and keep the game moving, keep the ball moving. I thought he was absolutely superb, Pellistri. I think he's got to play. Got to play.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in agreement with you. We'll speak about it in a little bit more in a second. But it looks like Mark has sent everybody over from his final score. His final score. So it's time to tell you guys. If you look at all the kits that we're wearing here, you can get yours at retrofootballkits.co.uk. If you use the code TUS10, you get an extra 10% off with an already 15% discount site-wide. So make sure you go and check them out. I'm really liking this dark blue little Aeon number. So yeah, go and have a look. All different teams on there that you can go and get yours. And if you missed it, Faz apologised with some Skittles, so I might crack them open in a second as well. But, Mods, let's get into it. I mean, Garnacho, Rashford. Should Rashford be worried?
I mean, I was saying this last time I came. I feel like the competition is healthy. I like it. I like the fact that the players who are normally starters are finally having a reason to actually play well. I feel like players like Rashford, even like sometimes our defenders, they've been able to get away with not playing as well because they haven't had a strong competition to fight for the place. But I feel like Garnacho on the left, I feel like we've seen him be so attacking, very bold when he's playing. Sometimes I feel like with Rashford, he's not making the right decisions. But Garnacho, it's like, you know what, I'm just going to go to the defenders. I don't care what's happening. I need to prove myself to the manager and to the fans, to the club. So I'm going to go at these players. I'm going to run. I'm going to take it down the line. I'm going to cross it in. I'm going to cut in. So yeah, I feel like it's a strong competition, but we know what Ten Hag's like. Rashford's going to play regardless in these kind of big games. But I definitely feel like if Garnacho was to come on maybe in like a 60th minute, 70th minute, and at least try and push the other team to the limit, then I feel like that'd be a good choice.
I don't think there's an excuse for Ten Hag to be playing Rashford 90 minutes with what we've seen today with our attacking players. But Ricky, I know you've not always been the biggest fan of Garnacho. You do like him, but would you be playing him ahead of Rashford?
Definitely. He again, like I spoke about Pellistri there, he's so quick. He's quick to see the short passes as well. Just the whole thing was better, wasn't it? The way we moved the ball around the field, it involved all the players, and including the two wingers who played in the place of Bruno and Rashford. They were both much, much better, and not necessarily at taking the men on, but understanding when you've got to pass it, how to receive it, and when to pass it first time, when to hold it a second. Just miles better players.
We're going to talk about what our front three would be going into the game on Saturday, but loads of super chats coming in. MUFC fan says Amrabat and Casemiro will be very hard to break. Daniel says we need to bench Rashford and Bruno, others more often, and give them something to fight for and give the younger ones a chance to prove themselves. Regan Human says Mount showed glimpses of what the manager bought him for tonight. Agree. Rudolph the Red says we look so much better with proper wingers with Ricky on this one. Rashford take note. Enjoy the Skittles. Thank you for that. I mean, Ricky, should I tell them what my brother texted me midway through the game?
Yeah,
my brother texted me saying he was only joking. He loves Ten Hag, but he texted me saying Ten Hag out, Ricky in. That's like a team Ricky would play, and it was working really well. So, you know, I do think Ten Hag does have to take note of the way things are moving tonight. Another one from, have we got it here? International 2675 saying Garnacho not ready. All along Amrabat's what Casemiro has needed. I mean, we'll get on to Casemiro, but I just want to talk about the front three players at the moment. Faz, you've not had your say yet, but Martial, today, me and Ricky were talking about it, just so easy on the ball, really nice 1-2s, looking a lot sharper, like not quite back to his best, but really on his way there. Really nice fluency across the front three. Could you maybe see a combination of where he goes to the left and Højlund plays up front?
I think I like this front three that we have now. Garnacho, Martial and Pellistri. I'm yet to obviously see this Martial and Højlund partnership in the front line to see how it works. But it's kind of nice to see we have two different front lines. It's nice. Anthony, when he comes back, Rashford and Højlund, and we have Pellistri, Garnacho and Martial. I don't want to, go too excited over Martial, because any given moment it'll come out that he's not available for a game. But it's just such a joy to see how he plays, and we are going to miss him when he's gone. That's just all I can say, because I'm still hell-bent that eventually we'll need to part ways with him.
Well, touch wood, he actually is keeping fit, which is nice to see. It's the longest I've seen him not go out with an injury, and it's because he's got someone else there to do the workload. You know, he's getting managed, which is really nice. And today he managed a good portion of game time, had a knock, and I was like, please get back up, and he did. So that's nice to see. Ricky, would your front three be exactly the same as today going into Saturday, or would you maybe take Garnacho out, move Martial to the left and bring Højlund in? What would you be thinking?
It's a really difficult one, because Martial deserves to play, but so does Garnacho, so does Pellistri. But I'm a massive fan of Martial. I would probably go Pellistri, Højlund, and Martial, with Martial playing to the left.
Yeah, interesting one. I think Garnacho should obviously come onto the pitch. I really thought he did well today, but I think that's what I'd go with, because I really do think Højlund and Martial would benefit each other really nicely, because Højlund sometimes struggles to see much of the ball when he's on the pitch. Martial's really good at holding it up and like playing it through the lines when it comes to the final third. Maud, what would yours be?
One thing I say is that I feel like early on in the season when Garnacho started, I don't think he was as strong. I feel like the games I think against Wolves, and I can't remember what the second game was, but when he started from 90th minute, he wasn't as strong as when he used to come on as a sub. And I feel like we need a sub that's going to come on and actually change a game. And I feel like Garnacho is one of those players that can come on and actually, like he did against City.
You got the thumbs up from Ricky then?
Oh, that's an honour. Anyway, so I feel like him coming on as a sub will be better for United. Going forward anyway, maybe in the future he can obviously grow and get stronger and become a starting player. But Garnacho, I feel like, will be a good sub. My only thing is, Rashford and Martial, the press isn't going to be as strong. We see Martial can press well, but we saw today he wasn't as active as like a Højlund would be, or even like how Pellistri or Garnacho was. And we've seen Rashford as well. Sometimes he just stops running. So I don't think that would work with. It could, you never know. But Martial and Rashford, the press would definitely be a lot weaker. So I don't know if I'd start Rashford on the left and Martial top. I think I would go how it's probably going to end up going, with Rashford, Højlund and a Pellistri on the right.
Interesting stuff. Ricky, did you want to come in on that?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, very interesting that he said that maybe Garnacho should be on the bench, because he's such a dangerous player to come on when the game's getting stretched, players are getting tired, etc. Maybe for the last 20 minutes. But if we did play with Pellistri, because that was a follow-up really to me saying Pellistri, Højlund and Martial. So if Garnacho's the sub behind Martial, do you see where I'm getting to here?
Yeah.
Where does he leave Rashford? Do you know what I mean?
Well, we know Rashford.
He'll probably play. He'll probably play, but he shouldn't.
I don't want to completely go in on Rashford, because I do think Rashford's a top player. I really do. I just think competition for places is healthy. AJ says Pellistri played so well, sucks he couldn't get to the finish line. Yeah, so close on that goal. Should have been a penalty, in my opinion. Faz, your front three.
In defence of Rashford, though, do you think an opposition team looks at Rashford and thinks, oh, it's okay, it's Rashford, we're not going to be scared?
Obviously not. They double up on him all the time.
They double up on him, because in a split of a moment, this is one of the most explosive wingers. Garnacho is fast and he's very playful, but don't forget, Rashford was like this when he was young as well.
Yeah.
When he made his debut for Manchester United, he was very playful, very direct, and as he's grown older, his game has gone more refined and he's tweaked it to the point where he's like, I'm only going to run when I really need to, or else I won't. And we don't know if that's going to be the case with Garnacho. Obviously, we don't know. But the system, there's clearly a manager starting preferred 11 that he prefers, and Rashford is part of that. There is clearly a reason why you see Andre Onana spraying passes to Rashford when we were playing against Arsenal. It's a tactical thing that he does with Rashford, and he scores goals. The thing is, whether we like it, as much as the wingers create goals, he scores goals. He's carried us, in essence, last season with his goal, so he's got credit in the bank, and the manager has to go with it and start him. I do think though that it's this thing about Martial starting, it's too risky because he might get injured, so it'll be Rashford starting and Garnacho off the bench for me.
I mean, Ricky, I know exactly what you're going to say.
I don't know how many times this has got to happen.
1.6.
But last season we were getting 1.5 goals a game, and when Rashford got injured, people on Twitter, it was going mad, what we're going to do. I said, don't worry, we'll score at least 1.5 goals a game. We scored 2 goals in both the games that he missed, and then he came back in the team and the goals went down again. And now this season, we've just scored 3 goals. I think we've only scored 7 all season, haven't we? What are we talking about? What are we worrying about?
In the corner.
I don't think that's because of Rashford, though.
I get the stat. It's like the similar stat you said about when Martial played, we were 4-1 and when he didn't play.
That's a belter now.
Yeah.
I mean, 3-0 tonight.
Yeah.
So Martial now in the minutes, because they keep swapping for each other, they've not played together. No. So in the minutes that Højlund's played, we've lost 7-2. And in the minutes that Martial's played, we are winning 7-3.
Yeah, 7-3. I've kept a count.
7-2 behind and 7-3.
But that is a very weird stat.
That's the only stat. That's like a 1 in a million stat.
That's the weirdest stat.
There's so many mitigating factors that skew
I'm sure
that
there
stat.
are. Yeah, I'm sure there are.
Even if we scored 1.5 or 1.6, the GAs don't lie. He got the GAs by 40 plus in a season, all comps.
We would have scored more if he wouldn't have played. It's a team game.
And I'm
we are
open.
scoring
you do
more
like
when he
Højlund
doesn't
though
play.
too, don't?
I like Højlund, yeah.
But I would like to see Martial out and Højlund put in with Garnacho and Pellistri. See how that works. It's an experiment because according to your analogy,
we did see that at the end.
No, but for a proper long game, for against a solid team starting, Garnacho on one side, Pellistri on one side. How does the team create then for a focal number 9? Because if that works and Rasmus starts scoring, we get, let's say, 2-0 win, then it's a very difficult conversation about Rashford need to be had. Are we better off without him?
And Højlund's I feel like Højlund's a lot more direct than Martial is anyway. Martial's a lot more better at holding the ball up.
Well, he'll tell you he does some positional pressing or some, I don't know.
Can I just
Ricky
say
will tell you.
that finish from Martial was really good.
Oh, yeah.
Left foot into, I don't know if it was from where I sat, but it was quality, it really was. And it's good to get him off the mark. It's good. We need 2 strikers. We need 2 good strikers as well. Like, everybody needs that. So it's good to see them both playing pretty well over the last couple of games. Chiara O'Leary says, hey Beth, love the show. Why can a young, energetic player like Højlund only play once a week? I don't think that's true. I think he can play more than that. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on, but I think he'll be absolutely fine. Next point of call after Carlton Jesus says, daily reminder that Faz is 5'3". No, he's not.
It's because of the picture with Dalot. I think that's why people think. I am 5'11" on a sunny day and 10 when it's cold, and it's cold right now.
But I want to move on. Can I just say, everyone, name a bigger upgrade than McFred to Cassibat. Name a bigger upgrade, everyone. Cassibat is the new McFred, and they're back and bigger than ever, better than ever. I mean, what an upgrade! I want to say, hold my hands up. I was worried Casemiro was done. I was worried we needed to get him on a plane to Saudi next year. I can't lie. He has played badly for quite a few games, but today, I've seen the Casemiro of old. I see him 19 goals and assists in a season for Manchester United. Sorry, our CDM, and passing through the lines, defensively solid, getting in good positions. Amrabat massively helped him out with a great debut playing from left back, dropping in, being inverted when Casemiro dropped into the back through and when Amrabat came in. It was just lovely to watch. They looked like they were on a really good wavelength together. I mean, Maud, are you excited to see this partnership develop?
I think we should give a lot of credit to Ten Hag. I think his tactics was what allowed Casemiro and Amrabat to be able to work well together, because technically he's playing left back. He shouldn't even be in midfield that much. But the way Ten Hag played it, I feel like was obviously the fullbacks were very much inverted. As in, like, sometimes I was seeing Amrabat on the right side of the pitch. They were so inverted that they were literally swapping sides sometimes. And what he did with Casemiro is he kind of dropped him in a little bit deeper when the fullbacks were inverted, and it meant that Harry Maguire and Varane could push out a bit more wide. So then it meant we kind of had like a 3 at the back with Dalot and Amrabat in midfield, and then it meant that we had a stronger midfield. Instead of having McTominay and Eriksen and all these players that can't pass the ball, we had a stronger midfield.
Eriksen can pass the ball.
He can, but sometimes it's like, I don't know, sometimes these passes are not as confident. I feel like sometimes, I don't know what it is, but maybe it's his running, maybe it's his confidence on the ball, I don't know. But
I do think a lot of his long balls that go to no one go under the
radar.
radar.
I don't see the Eriksen that we used to see, or the Eriksen that we saw at Tottenham, or it's definitely not, his quality is not as strong. But like I'm saying, I think we should give Ten Hag a lot of credit for the reason why Amrabat and Casemiro worked well today. And especially when he moved back into midfield, and then he put Lindelof on the left. like I said before, him and Casemiro being able to play together and also being able to find the wingers. As I think against the Brighton, we saw Casemiro try and find Rashford a lot of times, but his passing was just off, which is an off game. Everyone has off games. He's not been amazing this season, but today we saw his passing was a lot more on point and he's a lot more composed on the ball as well. So yeah, I think it's definitely a strong partnership that we've got going there.
Form temporary, class permanent, as they say.
Wait, I do want to read this out though before you get into that. Beth, this is a tweet from you.
Here we go. Here we go.
You tweeted this on the 16th of the 9th, 2023, at 5:13 p.m. I didn't want to believe it, but I genuinely think Casemiro is done. Horrendous for a while now. Can't remember his last good game. And then
Was I telling lies?
And then you've tweeted today, Casemiro's back! Yay!
Was I telling lies though? I've just said I hold my hands up. Casemiro had been poor for a while, but today, I mean, I'm going to give it away already. My man of the match and was top quality. That's all I can say. Casemiro's performance.
It was good.
Changed my mind, and I said I didn't want to believe it, and hope, thankfully, he's coming back round. Faz got me there. Kev says in the chat, we'll miss Kev. He's in Sicily living it up. I'm sure he's got a glass of red at the moment. He said he's Casemiro. I wish we had Kev's song on a speaker to just play now his Casemiro song. And I want to change it from I said Cassibat. Someone's put a better one. Casrabat. Yeah. How are we going?
Casrabat is nice.
It's got a bit more ring of it.
Amrabat. I don't know. Well, Cassibat or Casrabat. I'll think of it. I'll come up with a perfect name for the next show. I'll think about it throughout the show. But I mean, Ricky, thoughts?
Amramiro.
Amramiro. That's the one. He's spoken. But thoughts on Amrabat, Ricky? Because you said you'd judge him once he played for United.
Yeah, superb. Absolutely superb. Over the moon with his performance. Left back, centre of the midfield, great passes, short passes, long passes. Absolutely over the moon with it.
Can I ask you then? You would be excited to see a partnership of Casemiro and Amrabat, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then, now you have Casemiro, Amrabat, Bruno, and you have Mason Mount. So 4 players, and then you have Eriksen.
And he loves Hannibal.
Yeah. And then there's Hannibal, and Dan Go showed little
McTominay.
bits as well. But where does Scott McTominay come in here for you? How do you see Scott McTominay?
He'll struggle now.
He's like 6th choice.
But
Bayern Munich wanted him, no?
Look, it is a squad game, and I'm sure there's horses for courses, such as at the weekend where we needed to toughen it up in the middle just to try and get a clean sheet. He's actually, what the manager's done, by the way, is exactly what I've spoken about on here many times, that you need to do when you're a struggling team, and we were struggling. You've got to get lots of players behind the ball, no matter who you're playing against, and make it difficult for them to play through you. McTominay didn't play against Wolves when they were pouring through us, ripping us apart. Didn't play against Forest when we were 2-0 down in 5 minutes. He puts him in against Burnley. It had the desired effect, the result anyway, and the clean sheet. And he was playing next to Casemiro, and not running off and leaving lots of space there for people to run through us. You might say he can't pass it, he can't do this, he can't do the other.
You admit he's not good at passing, though?
No, he's not. His passing's not great. But there's other players who pass it just as badly, quite as often. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Anyway, that's another story.
2 wrongs don't make a right.
No, 2 wrongs don't make a right. But there is a role, usually. But now, with all these players coming in, there's an unbelievable amount of players coming in now. I mean, Amrabat can do that job. Stood on his head. Donny came in, he looked superb, Donny, when he came on. Not that he'd do that role, but Donny, look, we seem to have an embarrassment of riches. Well, we have. I mean, not just McTominay. There's going to be a few players now getting the noses pushed out. You know, they'll be pushed out of the team, won't they?
This is why I wanted to... I was trying to calm people down, because we've had so many injuries, and it's good to see players coming back and the squad getting a little bit fitter for sure. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how it works. We did keep a clean sheet without McTominay today, so it's not as if he's the be-all and end-all, but... I mean, I want to talk about the style of play because it actually looks like we had one today for once, but I want to talk about that. But LeBron James says, great win, hoping it'll be good momentum and confidence. Much love from Los Angeles. Let's go United. Faz, relax. You've been too stressed lately. Love you, buddy.
Yeah, I have, because I kept saying to people, can we score 3 goals and keep a clean sheet? I really want Manchester United to be able to score loads of goals, and it's good that we did today, but it's in a cup competition. I really need it in the league because goal difference is so important. And I hate to come back and in January and February and say, oh, our goal difference is so crap with a keeper that's so good and a backline that's so good. So we really need to start putting some goals into the opposition's net early on. Now that players are coming back as well early on. I do have a bit of concern though with these injuries that have piled up and the players coming back, because as you're managing the players' injuries and bringing them on, if you don't bring them on right and manage them well, they can go back again and it can be worse. And we've seen that with players before.
I think that's why Mount only got 45 today. You've got to be careful with it. Lone Hiss says, hey guys, please can you give my sister Maisie a big happy birthday, Sue? Happy birthday to Maisie from everyone at the United Stand. Hopefully she has a good one. And Nico Ally says, Amrabat is an engine, has a pass in him, always wants the ball and brings balance to our midfield. So Casemiro isn't overloaded and our midfield isn't bypassed. Said it perfectly there, Nico. And we've got a poll in the chat, Casemiro and Amrabat, what the name is. You've got Casibat, Amramiro or Casrabat in there, so you can have your vote. And I think the majority at the moment is going with Casrabat, 45%. Interesting stuff. But God, I'm choking there. But Maud's style of play today, you saw that with, Dalot dropping in, being inverted, but also dropping back as a back three with Maguire and Varane. You saw Amrabat doing it too, Casemiro sometimes dropping into the back three. Yeah. You saw Pellistri and Garnacho holding the width, then sometimes coming inside when necessary. You saw players that knew what they were doing in a system, I thought, which is something we've not really seen much of all season. There has been a little bit of an identity crisis. Yeah. Do you think it's nice to see us starting to play in a system? And plus, Varane, Maguire and then Evans when he came on didn't really have much to do as well. We kept the ball well. Yeah,
I mean, touching on those offenders, I feel like a lot of people were giving Maguire credit. To be fair, he did not play bad. One thing about Maguire that I always say is his good performances are good for him. They're not good for a player that's supposed to be playing for Man United. A lot of the time, we praise Maguire for not making mistakes that he would normally make, which doesn't make sense because he shouldn't be. Every other defender in the league isn't making those mistakes. It's because he's making those mistakes. That's why we get onto him as much. But like, for example, today, I feel like he played very, very average for a player of that caliber. I think him next to Varane, I don't necessarily think that partnership even works because I feel like they actually play similar positions. I feel like we need a player who's going to be more aggressive, someone like Martinez, someone who's going to actually run into the midfield and get the ball and then work it through our midfielders like that. Instead of having two players who are normally the last player. Usually Varane's usually the deepest centre back, and Maguire's usually the deepest centre back, just because they're a lot more. It's a lot more safe to have those kind of defenders there. But onto your point about the system, I've always said that Ten Hag, one of the problems that he's had is he doesn't like to have a plan B. Usually when his system's going wrong, whether it's because of the players, whether it's because of our energy, he doesn't like to change it up. But I think now, because we have the right personnel in, we've played the correct system, and those personnel have been able to show off what Ten Hag's been training into these players, which I think is a positive because, like I said, on other games, he's been playing the same system, it's not been working, and he's not changed it. And we've just been messing up and losing the ball and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think, like I said in it, I think going forward into like these next games, I think if we carry on playing the system and we pick the right players, then I think it's going to be positive.
Nice to hear that. I think it's good to see it working out because it hasn't worked out in a few games this season. So it's nice to see it working out today. And obviously, there is a lot of people saying, it is a Palace second string team at home, but it's in the corporate competition we want to win. It's a good game, especially to score 3 goals at Old Trafford. We've got Jamie Giello in the chat saying Mount to start on the right wing this weekend, asking for fantasy draft reasons. Cheers. I don't think so, but it wouldn't shock me. And Visas says McFred still clear. Give me what you're smoking. You've stole some of Ricky's stash. But Faz, Hannibal again gets another run out today. Good portion of game time. What are you making of him so far?
Really, really good. I didn't think he was going to start today, but a huge congratulations to Manchester United Academy. They started with 3 academy players, brought on, Dan Gore as well. It was a weird moment for me to watch some of these boys in Old Trafford because of how much I've watched them in Lee Sports Village. It's just weird to see them.
You do watch the academy?
Yeah. So even in Carrington, when I go to Carrington and watch them. So it was a surreal moment, and seeing Hannibal do some of the things that I didn't expect him to do, because again, I watched them so much in the academy, it makes me think they're not ready. But you know, they are training with the first team, they are learning from them, they've been on the bench, they've been in the changing room, they're understanding the game, and that's what you saw today. Dan Gore is a special player. We know Hannibal did amazing, but I promise you, he is going to... We have Kubi Maino, who's already loading, but wait till you really see Dan go, because this kid is on another level. He's on, and you saw today big physical players trying to push him off the ball, and he's just gliding past them. And this is what we want in this Manchester United team. And for the future, it looks very, very bright. The way Garnacho's come through, Pellistri now, and Hannibal. The only thing is, he just needs to tone down the yellow card, because it puts me on edge.
Yeah,
thinking, and I love it. I love a good tackle. I love a good physical player, but he just needs to tone that in. His passing, obviously, the last game that he played, odd times he gave the ball away a little bit, but I think he just needs to be involved in and around the starting 11 a bit more. Now, when we have a big game, he's probably not going to see much minutes. He's probably going to see the cup runs more, but it's important for Ten Hag to keep building on this confidence instead of just banishing him now.
You've got to start somewhere, though. And he's really, really impressed me because of where he's come from, you know, just coming through the academy. He's impressed me in the way he's kind of fitted in, and he's not looked out of place. And with Dan Gore, when he had the ball, it looked like he was going to his feet at sometimes.
It's unreal.
It was really nice to see. And what I'm really impressed with these players is the intelligence. They know where to be on the pitch at the right times. And I think you also have to give credit to Erik Ten Hag for that, because he's obviously been training with them and getting them up to speed with it, and they'll be wanting to impress the manager, like I said.
This is what I wanted to see from Erik Ten Hag, is what he brings out of the players that we already have. Yes, he's brought players and money's been spent, but what can he add value to our squad? And that's the value he's adding in what we saw today. And then you'll see that with Kubi Maino as well, and maybe Alvaro Fernandez when he comes back. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, Ricky, what do you think of, obviously, what Faz just said there about Hannibal and Gore, but also I feel like a player that's going under the radar a little bit, who has been very good for quite a few games now, is Dalot. Just keeps impressing. Assists today as well. Yeah. Just keeps improving. I know you've always been a fan.
I've always been a fan of Dalot, so there's no surprise to me. And he's played. He wasn't always so consistent, but he's played games like this before where he's been solid and also perhaps creating chances. But on the two youngsters, which is more interesting, Hannibal, absolutely over the moon with him. Fantastic running power, simplicity of passing, picking the right passes with the right weight. I just absolutely love him, honestly. He's had 2 games now, and 2 games on the bounce starting, and I think he's been brilliant in both games. And then Dan Gore, a little cameo coming on as a sub. I've not seen as much of him as Faz has seen of him, but I have been impressed with him in the past, and again, I thought he was superb when he came on.
Well, do you want to save wavelength? Are you happy with the way that the academies... Because obviously we've had Garnacho come through under Erik Ten Hag. Kubi Maino looks like he's destined to come through. He was basically the one that was meant to come through this year, but obviously got that injury. Yeah. And now Hannibal and Dan Gore as well. It's good for the academy, isn't it?
I think with Hannibal, we need to start looking at these players for what they've... For example, Hannibal came from... He went on loan last season to Birmingham, and he played, I think, he pretty much one of their main players. I think he played like 38 games last season. And when we compare him to someone like Højlund, they're the same age. We forget, sometimes we look at Højlund and we think he's 25.
That's so true, it's a really good point.
It's a player that he should be starting 90 minutes, but then we look at Hannibal like, oh no, he's too young. They're the same age. In fact, Hannibal probably played more games last season than Højlund. So why are we not treating Hannibal on that same level? I think obviously he's got a lot more experience to do, he's still very young. But from what he has already done, he plays international football. Before he moved to Turkey, he's playing with the French under 17, under 18 team. So he's played with very good quality players, and he's proven himself through the academies, through international, and with Birmingham last season that he knows what he's doing. He's not just a young 17-year-old that's just coming up through the academy. He's got that game time, or that aggression, that hunger to play already. So I think we definitely need to trust these players a lot more instead of thinking that they're too young to start. Someone like Garnacho and Pellistri, these guys, even though yes they are young, they've shown already that they're here to stay. They're not here to just, I don't know, try and pick up a paycheck, or you know what I'm saying. So a lot of them are actually here that I want to actually make this my position. So yeah, I think our academy is looking very strong right now.
I like that, especially because as well we've heard that Hannibal is really, really good in training and very good attitude and doing the right things, which is always nice to see. And Erik Ten Hag, one of the things I've always loved what he said earlier on is he's not going to give youth a chance just for the sake of it. They earn their chance. So these players coming through, it sets the example for the rest of the academy. You do the right things, you will be given opportunity, but you've got to do the right things to make it work, which is nice. Total Football says, to be fair to Amrabat, he hasn't had a pre-season or anything, so he's not even match sharp yet. So hopefully even more to come. Love how much he scans the pitch as well. And have we got another one here? Harry Maguire says, Faz, you dissed me on live a couple of months ago saying I should get shipped to Italy and they have good pasta. I proved I'm the best centre-back now, shush. How weird, because I was genuinely just about to ask you. Harry Maguire comes under a lot of criticism, had a pretty decent performance tonight.
Still needs to go to Italy, to be fair, and enjoy the good pasta there. And if he had left, we could have got another centre-back and upped our levels in our back line, and we can't because he feels like he's owed X, Y, and Z, and rightly so. But whatever it is, I'm sure the club will settle it come this summer, and he'll be gone. So it's an okay performance. It's good, credit where it's due. But you don't gain my love and affection after just one performance. It has to be a series of performances. If he can do it against City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs, Brighton, West Ham, even.
He's not going to play, is it?
He's not going to play. But if he had done it, or if no, but Ricky, as you say, you never know. You never know. Touch wood, God forbid, if injuries come in or anything. If Harry Maguire ends up playing, if he can keep a clean sheet or have a good performance against some big teams, even in the Champions League, then maybe I might think, you know what, maybe redemption is on. But more than Harry Maguire, though, I want to say a big thing about Diogo Dalot, because again, I've been hell-bent and I've taken a lot of pelters from people for Diogo Dalot as well. And people constantly say how inconsistent he is. He's constantly inconsistent is the thing that people say. But I gave him another pep talk today. Sam is obviously there.
I'm sure he thinks, I need to hear what Faz says to me.
The last time I gave him a pep talk, he dropped an 8 out of 10. And today I gave him a pep talk, he dropped an 8 out of 10. So my motivational speeches clearly do work. And Diego, if you're watching this, ignore the haters, because he is absolutely a superstar of a fullback. The cross that he made today to get the first assist was absolutely sensational. And if any other fullback does stuff like this, Manchester United fans will be creaming themselves over him. Would be absolutely going. No, it's true. They would.
True.
They would be drooling.
I'm sure he's got it connected to his car on his way back.
I hope so, because we do this. We credit other people, other teams' players all day and every day. But when it comes to certain players of ours that are actually doing well, Manchester United fans, they had their stomachs rumbling when they thought Malacia was going to face Salah, and look what happened. They had their stomachs rumbling when they thought Diogo Dalot has to face Saka. Look what happened. He held his own. Yeah, we lost the game, but he still held his own. And now, yet again, he's performing solid game in, game out. And I'm so proud and happy with him.
Admin's just put in saying Faz's motivational speeches work unless it's Liverpool or City. Maud, did you want to come in?
No, I was going to say, last time I was here, one of the main reasons why I thought Dalot didn't do as well was because we didn't have a player with him to link up with on the right-hand side. So I feel like that him and Pellistri, or whoever is going to be playing, whether it's Anthony coming in, I feel like that link-up is what's going to really improve Dalot, because he plays well. Even that goal, it came from Pellistri giving him the ball and then him running down the line and then obviously crossing it in. So I feel like when he's by himself on that right-hand side, he's not as effective. But going forward, if he was to play with somebody who actually can link up with him properly, then I feel like he's going to be way more effective.
You know what we used to say last season? We don't have fullbacks that don't cross.
But that's a good point that Maud's has made, because not to come in, but Anthony's always looking to, cut in and have a shot, whereas Pellistri's working with the player, his fullback, working with him. I think Pellistri's one of the only players on the right side that puts that ball through to Dalot, has the awareness around him, because he's a natural, right, as Ricky would say, he's going to be loving this, right-footed right winger that's looking for his fullback. And I have to agree with you, Faz. I've always liked Dalot. Yes, he's been inconsistent in the past, but not only is his quality very good, and I think he does get a bit of unfair criticism at times, I think his mentality's top. And today, Anana, he made basic saves, but obviously everybody knows the criticism he's been getting. He goes up to him, giving him the hugs. Every time someone does something well, he's telling them, he's getting onto him on the pitch. So I like that he's supporting his players as well. It's a nice touch. Akhil Aravin says, this game showed when we played Garnacho and Pellistri together, our threats are equal from both wings. Hopefully start of a better season. Expectations low still, but confidence booster win. #Glazers out. Thank you for your super chat. I mean, Ricky, I want to come to you next. You said that you would want Johnny Evans to play on Saturday. What would your centre-back partnership be on Saturday?
Lindelof and Evans.
No Rafa Varane, I thought he was great.
He played well, Varane played very, very well. But I just think Lindelof and Evans, I think their passing is absolutely superb. And I do believe, I said this to you, didn't I, ages ago, and it got clipped up. I said it as soon as we signed him and everybody was going mad. Johnny Evans got a game on Saturday, he was the best player on the field. And I think he could do it again this Saturday. And I wasn't surprised. I think we spoke about this before the game. I wasn't surprised that he didn't play, and I've got a feeling he didn't play because he's already got him in mind to play again on Saturday. That's how good I think he is. Look, he was a superb player when he played for us before. He's 35 now. We've dug somebody from the past back out. We thought, by the way, he's played under Fergie, hasn't he? And he's won a league title. We thought we'd lost all our players that had won league titles, didn't we? Now we've got one back.
Experience.
That's the sort of player he is. You know what I mean? Top player. But you know, whether he can keep it going, whether he's fit enough to play full games, I really don't know. He had to come off only with, I think there's only 3 or 4 minutes to go when he came off. But it won't surprise me one little bit if he starts on Saturday.
I wouldn't be surprised. I personally would go with Varane and Lindelof. We'll get other people's opinions. I've just been tagged in a tweet that says, is it just me or does Beth look like Dan Gore? So, interesting one. Weirdly, I can kind of see it.
I've never seen it.
Interesting one. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments on that one. But, you know, Ricky, Johnny Evans, for me, Burnley's his level now. I really like the guy. Top attitude, top mentality. Spoke really well. I think that's his level. I don't.
Yeah, so Varane's played well against Crystal Palace reserves.
I'm not saying
at home, and he's played well against Burnley away in a league match.
I know. He did really well. For me, Varane is ahead.
Yeah, but Varane's played some top games last season.
Agree.
For me,
I'm just bringing that up because when I said like we played great, enough people said to me, "Oh, it's Crystal Palace reserves." You know what I mean? And yet everyone else is saying he did great against Crystal Palace reserves. You know what I mean?
Someone just said Dan Gore and Eric Bailly on the panel.
I can see it now.
I actually can't cope. Akil Aravin says, I disagree with Ricky. With Varane, opposition don't press as much when we play with Lindelof and Evans. Varane gives confidence to the defence. And Visa says, I'll have some of what Ricky is having. I'll let you know. I'll try and get hold of it. But
Harry Maguire's come back with a super chat as well. You missed it.
Oh, is he? Go on.
It says, what do you think you are, Eric Ten Hag? Hush. To me.
I mean, Mod, I'm assuming you'd go with Varane and Lindelof.
Yeah, 100%. Not, as much as, Johnny Evans has played good in the 2 games that he's played, but again, it's 2 games that we're going to need, especially in like, when we're going to need, I said before, we need players, centre-backs who are going to be playing more regularly together or who have played together a lot more, because when we come up against stronger opposition, we're going to want centre-backs who know each other's game a lot more. Rather than playing opposition who, like, for example, today, the opposition wasn't great. They had 2 shots on target. Is that
not partly to do with how well we played, though?
No, but I mean,
they couldn't get the ball off us, could they?
Fair enough, but when we come up against opposition that are going to be penetrating us a lot more, we're going to want centre-backs who, again, have played a lot more together and know each other's game, and I don't know, just a lot more experience. So Johnny Evans is...
A lot more experience.
Johnny Evans is his last real top-flight football was at United. Which says
I'm going to be a bit weird and say I actually agree with Ricky.
Ooh. You would play Evans over Varane?
Yeah.
Why?
I want to... Okay, so I've said this before, that I don't want to take out my Rolls Royce to a corner shop every single day. Rafa Varane, as much as I love him and adore him, I did say last season towards the end that we need to manage him. He can't be our starting centre-back because of injuries, and it's cruel to the whole team and the manager when you start a player as your starting player in your starting 11 and they are injury prone, because it just sets you back, because then you have to go back to the drawing board. And there's not a like-for-like sub for Rafa Varane. There's not someone of his calibre, his level, who can just come in and slot there. So I actually want to see this partnership of Lindelof and Evans because, 1, I think Lindelof is a fantastic player. And 2, why not? Give Johnny Evans the run. He's here. I've had to swallow my words on Johnny Evans. He's proven us wrong. He's got a man-of-the-match performance away from home.
Can I just come in on this?
Yeah.
Have you been smoking out back with Ricky?
I don't think you're being serious.
I'm being serious. I mean, please don't tell me you're saying Johnny Evans over Rafael Varane. He's had a good performance at Burnley. He was great. But come on now, Faz, don't do it.
I I want to try it.
Oh.
I want to try
You
it.
don't need to experiment every
Lord
game.
No, the
have
reason
mercy
the
on
reason
me.
being is because Lindelof is very good, and I think he'll be able to hold his own with Johnny Evans. And the pass that he made, yes, Martinez makes those passes, but Martinez is not fit. If Martinez is fit, is this based on Martinez is not fit, right?
I still think if Martinez is fit, Varane plays.
No, if Martinez is fit, I would play Martinez and Lindelof.
So you think Martinez is better than Varane?
Right now, yeah.
I do still.
Yeah, right now.
Varane's I think he's our
right
best.
now.
I think he's our best centre back.
I'm more convinced that Johnny Evans is better than Martinez than I am convinced that he's better than Varane. I think he's passing.
It's not better
No.
either.
I think he's passing
This
better
is
than
why
Martinez.
I didn't
He's
have
about
too much
6
of what you were
inches taller. He makes it look
Right.
so
You only had a
easy.
few
Do you
I
think-
only had a few
do you think
hits.
Johnny Evans is in front of Varane when it comes to centre backs?
Well, I've just said that I'm more confident that he's better than Martinez than I am that he's better than Varane. I think he's a better player. I think he's passing superb.
You
Absolutely
think Johnny Evans is better than Martinez, who
Yeah.
just won a World Cup?
Well, he didn't play a lot, did he?
Oh, Ricky.
Oh, he was in a World Cup squad.
What did Johnny
That's
Evans
what,
win?
that's what squads are
If
for.
that was Martial,
Johnny
won a
Evans.
World Cup.
Look, Johnny Evans can't win the World Cup. He's Northern Irish. Come on.
Oh, Ryan's going to go for you. Ryan's going to go for you.
Do you know what I mean? George Best never played at a World Cup. Never, you
To
know
be
what
fair,
I mean?
I'd get in Northern Ireland too. Sorry, guys.
Beth Guire.
Oh, don't really start with me. Vacation Pappy says Evans was never a great player. He was serviceable, but let's not act like he's one of the best centre backs in the Premier League. You're disrespecting a World Cup winner. I just want to end this here and now. I respect everybody else's opinions. I always do. But to say Evans is better than Varane or Martinez is just
2
absolutely
games.
wild. Absolutely wild.
No, it's because of what
Varane
I've
is
seen him play
absolute-
before.
Varane is world
For
class.
Leicester?
Yeah, for Leicester, for West Brom, for everybody that he's played. He's fantastic, Johnny. You know that Pep wanted to sign him and offer 28 million quid for him?
Johnny Evans?
Yeah, so if
What-
Pep
in
was
what
here
year,
now
though?
and he was saying this,
In what year?
about 4 years ago, fair enough, but
But Pep
even
has bought
so,
players that
do you
don't
know what I
work
mean?
as well, let's be honest.
Eh?
This thing about Pep wanted him, Pep wanted him.
Pep
as
wanted
well.
Maguire.
He don't make many mistakes, does he?
Sure,
I
but
don't think that's true.
It was in the newspapers.
Yeah, and he also supposedly wanted Sanchez. I think they sometimes pretend that they want certain
then we
players
get
to
them.
make us go for it.
For me personally, it goes Varane, Martinez, Lindelof,
Yeah.
Evans, Maguire, and then maybe if Shaw's fit, you throw Shaw in like midway through as well, because Shaw's great at centre back. But Maguire's bottom of the pile, but he had an alright game today. Ryan, our producer, has asked me to play this voice note out loud on the forum, so I will. I've not even listened to it.
Johnny Evans is a red. He hates Scousers. You hate it. You hate it. Johnny Evans is a red. He hates Scousers. You hate it.
Oh, he's had a few too many, hasn't he? Actually, no, he's driving, he's not. Mad Stony Music says, Don, Ricky, moving, mad. I mean, I have no words. I disagree, but I have no words and fair play. But I want to move on to what would be our starting 11s going into the Palace game on Saturday. To wrap up the show with, I want to talk about that. So, Maud, I'll start with you.
Whole starting 11.
Whole starting 11.
So Onana in that, obviously.
Shout out to Anana, 2 clean sheets back to back.
I mean, he didn't really have a lot to do today. To be
I know,
honest.
but I'll still shout it out.
So Onana in that, obviously, I mean, for me, I've come to the conclusion there's no point even complaining about Onana anymore because he's here to stay. We're not going to have any.
Why, were you complaining about him?
I wasn't complaining about him, to be honest.
You were?
I wasn't.
Oh,
I'm saying a lot of people were obviously complaining about certain things, even like his passing out and his shot stopping ability. But Onana 100% in that. Then I'd go Dalot on the right. I think he's confirmed his position right now. Until Wan-Bissaka comes back and they have to prove himself again, Dalot is, for me, starting right back. I don't know if Martinez is back, but assuming that he is, Martinez, I know.
I thought he had a more serious injury.
Yeah,
I don't think Martinez will be back.
yeah, not Martinez. I'd say Varane and Lindelof. Left back, I'm going to go Reguilon.
I think Reguilon is back.
I'm going to go Reguilon. Hopefully he's back anyway.
I think apparently it's minor.
Right.
Yeah, hopefully Reguilon's back. Then in midfield, I'm going to obviously start Casemiro because I think he played amazing today and he's confirmed the position already. Next, I'm going to put Amrabat because that link up today, we have to see more of it. I'm going to see Bruno in front of them. Then the front three, like I said before, Rashford, Højlund and Pellistri.
Like that team, we'll go to Ricky and Faz in a second, but I have a super chat to reminding me. Regan Human says, did we speak about Donny, guys? I mean, Faz, thoughts on Donny?
I was just speaking to a gentleman next to me saying it's like the 64th minute, it's 3-0 and Hannibal's got a yellow card. Why is he not bringing on Donny van der Beek? And I still think, Donny van der Beek might not be Manchester United level, but it's criminal that we haven't registered him for Champions League. It was just nice to see him because he's such a lovely guy. He probably wanted to move somewhere and he didn't get it. But he looked sharp considering he's not played any minute for Manchester United. I don't think he's going to play any more. They're just the odd minutes. He's only got minutes now because of so many other factors, where there's injuries, there's Hannibal, there's a yellow card, and those factors might not happen again anytime soon. So it's almost like the last time probably we see him until something like this happens, or come January he's going to go. But it was good. It was good. That's all I can say.
Ricky, would you like to see him get a bit more game time?
I'd love to see him get more game time. I've always said that I think he's a class player, and I thought he looked class when he came on tonight.
He looks more better in a team that's keeping possession, that's for sure.
Yes, without a doubt.
Yeah, that's all I can say on that. But I mean, Ricky,
if Rashford and Bruno were playing, he wouldn't have played as well when he came on. That's football.
Ricky, what's your starting 11?
What I would play if I had carte blanche to pick what I want.
Yeah.
Right, nothing to do with what the manager. I'm not saying he's going to do this, but I didn't know Reguilon was fit, so if he's fit, I will go Onana, Dalot, Lindelof, Evans, Reguilon. I will go Amrabat and Casemiro. At number 10, I would go with Hannibal.
Ooh.
On the right wing, I would go with Pellistri. At number 9, Højlund, and number 11, Martial. And that team would probably finish in the top 3.
Interesting.
You had to get it out there.
Interesting that you've left Eriksen out.
Amrabat looks class. I like Eric. I think Eriksen's fantastic. I think he gets a lot of stick, but Amrabat's got more about his game, more steel. Amrabat was great tonight.
I wouldn't put a bookies on that side. I wouldn't make a bet with the bookies on that starting 11. But I mean, interesting. Everyone's got different takes. Faz.
I'm surprised that Altay didn't play today, but it's probably because he doesn't want to affect Onana's confidence levels.
Excuse me one sec, Faz. Really sorry.
Sure, no.
I know you just said I won't put money on it. You didn't ask me what I think the manager will do.
No, I know that. I know that.
It's
But
what I do.
I'm saying because Ricky, I'm saying
The manager's going to get it wrong.
You're one of the. I'm saying because
Sorry, Faz. Sorry,
you're
Faz.
a very minute pool of people that think that team should play. To be honest, it's not a bad team at all. I wouldn't mind it, but it's interesting.
Sorry, Faz. Go on,
No,
mate.
it's okay. Surprised why Altay didn't play, but it's probably because Ten Hag doesn't want to hinder Onana's confidence levels and give him the opportunity to build on his confidence. So it'll still be Onana, Reguilon, Lindelof, Evans. I actually want to see it. Dalot, of course. Casemiro, Amrabat, Mount. Casemiro, Amrabat, Mount. Rashford, Højlund and Pellistri.
Interesting stuff. Jesus says, ask Ricky what is the best 11 from players we've signed since Sir Alex retired, just out of curiosity. Surely Fellaini makes the team. I think he needs a bit to think about that, doesn't he?
It takes too long.
He needs a bit to think about that. Maybe he'll do a little Instagram reel on it when he's had a little think. We'll go back to that. But look, guys, it's already been an hour, which is absolutely crazy, 57 minutes in, so we're going to wrap up the show. But I just wanted to read this out. Casemiro, obviously, got a goal, got an assist. 3 interceptions, match rank first. Passes in the final third, match rank first. Touches, match rank first. He was top draw today. So on that note, guys, we're going to do our man of the match. Are we unanimous on Casemiro?
I'm Casemiro, yeah.
Casemiro?
Yeah.
Mark Casemiro?
Because I love Diogo Dalot and he gets a lot of criticism, but yeah, Casemiro.
Yeah, definitely. 100%.
Casemiro is man of the match, and I'm sure he's man of the match with all you guys as well. What a top quality
I just
game
have
from
one
him.
thing as well.
Go on.
Because someone has asked me to give them a little motivational speech.
Okay.
And I promised them that I will. It's the Bertham Hawks under 12 football team who have reached out to me seeking some motivation. They have lost 3 for 3. And whenever they concede a goal, their heads drop. All I will say to you is, in times in life, you might not see what's in front of you because of all the darkness. But just look down, and if you can see your feet, then that means you can see your next step. And that's all you have to do, is take the next step. If you concede a goal, concede 2 goals, 3 goals, it's okay. Just take the next step, because it may feel like the game is gone out of your hands and you might not be good enough, but one thing you have to do is believe in your next step. And I promise you, you will get there. So that's from Faz to you guys, and good luck to you, and keep me updated how you get on in the season.
Well done,
Love
Faz.
that. Thank you, Faz, for that. Feel inspired. I feel really inspired. So good luck as well from me and everybody here too.
Imagine now they go and get relegated, or they
Or they do really well, and then you can get a job in motivational speaking. Benedict, thank you for the super chat. Lastly, I do want to bring this up. Someone said Ricky didn't share his view on Mount. So curious. Thoughts on Mount, Rick?
Yeah, I thought he played very well. I thought, well, I said this here a couple of times. I thought everybody played well. Nobody let us down tonight. Nobody. Very, very, very pleasing performance.
Someone says shine bright like my bald patch. Oh, hilarious. But thank you, guys. Ricky, last forum in a while.
Oh, I wanted to mention that. I'm going to Dublin for the weekend. So I am going to watch the game in a pub in Dublin on Saturday. So anybody who's watching and wants to recommend any pub in Dublin, do it either on the chat or
Comments.
maybe on Rick the Red UK on Instagram. And
Why are you telling them to Instagram you? Because I Instagram you all the time and you never reply to me.
I'll have a look, mate. So I'm looking forward to watching the game with a few of the lads in Dublin on Saturday afternoon.
Well, that sounds lovely. Have a brilliant time. Maud, thank you for coming on as well. Great to have you on for a win this time.
Literally,
And
second
Faz, thanks for the Skittles.
No
All
problem.
love. And yeah, can't wait for the next game now. It's starting to feel a little bit more positive. Crystal Palace again at home. Hopefully it'll be a similar sort of result as what we've got tonight. But as well, everyone in the comments, thank you very, very much for getting involved, voting on the poll, super chats, likes, everything like that. We really do appreciate it. Watching it this time of night on a weeknight day as well. We've got so many people watching. It really is appreciated. Make sure you hit a like on the video, and also go and check out retrofootballkits.co.uk. As you can see, you can get authentic, genuine kits, really good price, 15% off site-wide and an extra 10% off with the code TUS10, so make sure you check that out. Everyone have a lovely rest of the week. We'll be back with match day on Saturday and loads of news as well with our usual shows throughout the week. Have a good one, everyone. We'll see you on the next one.